10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
The Competition Plus Power Hour with a mobile Monday morning racer on the road, along with, and good to have back, Slammin' Sam, all the way hailing from the great land of the North, North Dakota, here in common to talk about drag racing, along with you, the fan. Sam, what's shaking?
Lee, I think I need to change my name. I don't think it can be Slammin' Sam anymore, especially after what just happened. I don't know if you guys talked about it last weekend of
No, we
why
didn't
I
talk about
wasn't.
it. I didn't want to talk about it because the last time I talked about something that was in that thread, it wasn't supposed to be talked about. So I didn't know what to say. I just didn't say nothing.
So for people that don't understand, Lee, I sent you the pictures, but for those that don't understand, last Thursday night, oh, he's going to get the pictures. It's fine, Lee, grab the pictures. For
I'm
some
not
of
gonna
you
get
guys
the
don't, oh, I thought you were. 2 weeks ago now, Thursday night, I ref junior hockey. So I was headed out to go and ref junior hockey and got in literally driving 45 mile an hour. I know, speed demon me. Hit some black ice, 60 mile an hour wind, kind of threw my truck a little sideways, didn't think too much of it, kept going down the road. Then it happened again, and the front end took off and started headed towards the passing lane. And then I looked at my buddy and I said, "Man, we're going in the ditch." And didn't think too much of it, right? You're gonna go in the ditch, and all of a sudden, you're gonna have to get pulled out. Nope, went into the ditch, hit about 2 feet of ice underneath the snow cover, and on the lid it went. So I can honestly tell you guys, seatbelts do save lives because I literally walked away with just a little scratch right here from my seatbelt. But totaled my new truck, 450 miles on it. Very, very sad day, but trucks can be replaced. And yeah, I just took some personal time to kind of get my mind back together because, yeah, then I had to get on the road Friday morning, which put us hours behind of where we were supposed to be and delayed the game about an hour and 10 minutes or so. But we made it there safe, even though it was sketchy as heck. But yeah.
Well, man, glad you and your buddy that you two are all right. And other than a scratch and a bump and a bruise, that you came away unscathed. This is the second vehicle you've rolled, correct?
This is a race car and now my personal truck. So yeah, this is number 2 for me. So like I said, I think Slammin' Sam. I think I need to change it to like Roland and then my middle name. That's an R and a R, Roland Rashad or something. Or I don't. I mean, I don't know at this point, Lee. I am very in awe of just how it happened, Lee. Like, the first time the back of the truck slid a little bit, no big deal, right? I mean, we've all done it on a racetrack, whatever. Then the front of the car went, and it was just like, if I oversteer, this can be way worse. So I just kind of let it happen. And
Right, right. And I think with even you describing what happened to you at 45 miles per hour black ice, that look, it got away from you. It can get away from anybody. And when these people have a 200 plus mile per hour, 300 plus mile per hour race car get away from them,
on a prep track too.
yeah, be careful about diving in on your keyboard and saying, "I would have done this," because you never know in the situation what you would have done and what could have happened and transpired.
Yeah, I mean, and it just goes to show, like, man, like, honestly, seatbelts do save lives. First of all, God had his hand in theirs. And it was weird because even my buddy, he looked at me at one point and goes, "Man, why are you driving so slow?" And then about 5 miles later, that happens, and I'm like, "Yeah, man." But in my older age, I'm kind of starting to realize that need to slow down a little bit. But in other news, no, it wasn't. See, here we go. Here go the keyboard words. Couldn't handle the tire shake. There was no shake in the tires. It was simply 65 mile an hour wind, take the front end of the truck, and we're going this way. Trust me, no tire shake. And I would put money on it. Andrew, I don't know who you are. It just says A, but I would put money on it. I'd probably outdrive you in any vehicle. So if you want to start trash talking, send me a PM and we can put money on this and I will outdrive you. So back to the normally scheduled program, Lee. Anyway, it's NHRA week and
It's
everyone's
also
headed
Funny Car
down.
Chaos week.
It is chaos. Do I bring that into 2023 year? Do you want that to continue?
It is the chaos. It fits.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have about let's see. We don't have as much snow as like California has right now, but we're supposed to get another 6 inches of snow tonight. And yes, 70, 60, 70 mile an hour wind gusts are horrible to be on the road in anything. But yes, funny car chaos, 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 chaos. Oh, he laughs. I wonder, do you know who this guy is, Lee?
I don't know. I think Andrew is jesting, joking. Certainly
I
no
know.
tire shake was involved, but
I get it, but I'm just saying. Keyboard warriors, man. Lee doesn't know what to say.
Right. Let's do this. Let's begin here. So later on tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have Chad Green on the show, and we'll also have Spencer Hyde. Chad Green, Pro Mod racer, here recently, NHRA funny car racer, and he had a good, solid Gator Nationals. And then Spencer Hyde, well, he is arguably the man with all of the bragging rights in the world of drag racing and the big check to boot, the winner of the World Series of Pro Mod, $100,000 richer. Then we're going to have those two gentlemen on the show tonight in just a few moments. As soon as we get Chad Green roll in, we're going to bring him on, chat with him, and the same with Mr. Hyde. Now, as we have mentioned, there's at least two big drag races happening this weekend. Granted, as we always say, that's not the only drag racing happening. There's drag racing happening now at so many tracks, so many local tracks. There's big no prep events happening. There's drag racing happening at airports that are abandoned and probably some that aren't even abandoned that shouldn't be drag racing happening. But nonetheless, racing is in full song at this point. Sam, NHRA was mentioned. Funny Car Chaos was mentioned. Funny Car Chaos, you look at it, what do you think about this upcoming third edition of the Funny Car Chaos Classic at the Texas Motorplex? What stands out to you?
Well, it's still, Lee, even like you said, it's the third classic, but for me it stands out. It's just that this series is still gaining traction. We talked about that when we talked about the World Series of Pro Mod. And this is still gaining. Like the momentum swing of this event hasn't just taken off and peaked and now it's happened and it's gonna ride its coattail. It's still going on. It's still, people are still interested. People are still moving forward in it. And here it is. Someone just said it here. I mean, the amount of cars, the number of cars. You see the picture, from, I forget if that's year 1 or year 2 on the Motorplex where they're all lined up like that. Like if that doesn't get that's year 2. Okay, if that doesn't get your blood boiling and want you to want to be there, I can tell you Funny Car Chaos is on my list of events this year. To really just go in and take it all in. I mean, this year may be a little different for me for, kind of the things that I'm trying to accomplish and want to get to. But I kind of just want to sit back and watch these events, not be too hands-on, and just kind of watch and feel what everyone else that are maybe in the comments or, different things Like, I want to sit back and watch what's going on and just take it all in.
And there is a lot to take in at a Funny Car Chaos event, such as the Classic of the Texas Motorplex. Obviously, over 50 funny cars will attempt to qualify for what will essentially be 4 fields, A, B, C, D, if I remember correctly. And then there's also Outlaw Fuel Alters, there's Dirty South Gassers, and there is Nostalgia Eliminator, and there is even Bracket Racing as well, if I remember correctly. There's a full card at the Texas Motorplex this weekend for the Funny Car Chaos Classic. And as you know, Liberty Noon, Litby Noon Productions mentions the amount of cars. What I like is this is not the only time this amount of cars gets close to. We're having a little over 50. If you go to like Eddyville or Mocan, it's not uncommon to see over 40 funny cars. It's not uncommon to see over 30 funny cars at other places that the FCC Tour goes to. I would be, and keep on your radar, I would have it on my radar, the Maryland race. The race coming up this year in Maryland may very well be bigger than the Classic. I'm predicting that it will have more cars than the Classic actually this year. It will be a huge event for Funny Car Chaos. But I think
Maryland has that feel, though.
Do what?
So, I mean, I don't think that's a bold prediction that you're making there. I think Maryland, like that area, supports funny cars, and I think just the vibe down in Maryland and in that area, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think that there's a like, just on the Facebook groups, there's a huge atmosphere of race cars down there. I mean, I think that area is very thriving and growing with cars. So
the MIR, Maryland International Raceway, they know how to throw a drag race. They have the World Cup race there every year, which is a stupendous drag race, and a drag race that brings so many different types of people together, and they race it out. As Mike mentions, MIR is a great track. Hey, Mr. Winters, good to have you watching along. Hey, did you know what was happening behind you at the Gator Nationals? In like round 1, I believe it was. Did you know what was happening, or were you only concerned about what was happening in your lane? Because that was a wild round 1 pass that y'all two had.
Lee, you know what I just noticed? We need to take a second to just like embrace what's happening here. Sam's dream is finally coming true on this show.
What is that dream?
We have a all professional modified show tonight.
Yes, you can make that argument. You certainly can. Yes.
For the thousands and thousands of people here in attendance tonight, for the fans across the world of professional modified, we are finally getting what we need. And that is a full professional modified show.
Well, Chad Green, he was even at the World Series of Pro Mod. We can ask him about it. We'll talk to the winner, and certainly we'll talk a little fuel funny car. But yes,
DRC just had to ruin it in the comments. There's always got to be one.
Yeah, I mean, come on, like years of Pro Mod,
and just a blip.
And like, okay, look, already a great funny car driver because of what he learned in Pro Mod, and not to mention nitrous.
There's always Lee. Somebody could say, "Man, this sure is a beautiful day outside." And one person in the crowd can go, "But there's that one cloud up there, right?" All right. Anyway, okay, Lee. First race, Gainesville. Second race now. Going to Arizona now for the last time. What are you thinking? Like, how did that feel to being?
Well, let's clarify that. We're going to Phoenix for the last time. Let's not say Arizona. Be careful about that, okay? Be careful.
True. But I'm just saying, we're going to Wild Horse Pass for the last time. I mean, just that whole area is so nice. The whole Chandler area. Yeah. You've got the lake or like, the motorsports little lake area behind the pits there. You got the top level and the bottom level of pits. Like, I mean, how does that feel? I mean, starting at Gainesville and now going to Wild Horse Pass, leaving there, going to Pomona, leaving there, and going to the Dirty Dean, Las Vegas.
Well, it seems to be a favorable move from the teams, everything that I have seen in reaction. And uh, I have thoroughly enjoyed my visits to what was the track formerly known as Firebird Raceway. I have thoroughly enjoyed my visits there. It is interesting that tiered pit scenario. Like they put nitro up there and it's like overlooking everything. You kind of go up and down, and that is interesting. Great crowds there. I know this is the last one, and then we all expect the last one to be packed, but every time I've been there, I think they've announced a sellout one day or the other. It is always well attended. And strangely enough, I've also been there in the middle of the desert and it rained out qualifying sessions. So you never know what you're going to get outside of Phoenix. But a great area. Phoenix is a great town. Chandler is a great suburb of Phoenix. You got everything there that you could ask for from like all over the country, because Phoenix, like, you don't go to Arizona and get Arizona. You go to Arizona and get everything else, it seems like, in Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
And that is 100%. A neat
100%.
thing. So it is a cool place to go race. It's sad that, we very well may lose it. There are those rumors, like Liberty Noon already put in, and we had Stan mention a couple of weeks ago that, yeah, it might not be the case that it's going to be the last time there. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Everything's up in the air at this point. But if we keep it, good. If we don't keep it, let's have a great end to its time as a national event track. And I think we will have a spectacular race at that event. It seems to always produce good racing, and it's a track that can hold good numbers. I mean, it may very well be a track that for its last, we see the first 300 in the 8th mile. Very well could happen depending on conditions.
Yes, and that's what I was going to allude to next is that, I mean, I think people are going to go out there, and we kind of saw it in Texas, right? In Houston when, we saw a couple people, what if this is going to be the last one? Let's put on a show. And I mean, I just think that place, it holds a kind of special place for everyone. I mean, a lot of testing has gone on there, preseason for people over the years. You had your protest there last year. And like you said, sellout crowds, everyone comes out. The community is so nice and warm and welcome. And it's a destination and tourist place. So, I mean, like you said, there's always a lot of people there, different cultures, different, atmospheres to be around. So much good. And if it's not its last, then grateful. But if it is, I guarantee you, if you're in the area, if you're there, you're going to want to be there. You're going to want to enjoy and take it in, because I think you're going to see people, I think you'll see people swing, for the fences.
Yes.
I think Grubby and what they've got going on, I don't think they're too far off. Just some of the passes that we saw last year. I mean, AB came out, first round with a great pass last year. Justin Ashley did too, even though, in first round in qualifying, I mean, in eliminations, they both, were done for the day. But just a lot of good things and a lot of rich history that goes back there. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if we get the good weather with a nice little tailwind, if it cools down at the right time, especially later in the day, I mean, it can be nice.
It was a wacky race last year, especially in Top Fuel. People who we expected would go on in later into the day and race in twilight if you were out in the bright early morning sun, such as you mentioned Justin Ashley, and number one qualifier at that time, Doug Coletta, was taken out in round one. So again, drag racing, especially in Top Fuel, highly competitive, though they're all competitive classes. And yeah, we might get another wacky race once again. Sam, the NHRA doing something many may consider wacky, but I'm glad to hear that they are doing it. Did you hear the news? Route 66, that national event, well, it's going to have an exhibition class added to it of drag and drive, NHRA.
It's like I might get in trouble for this. It's good and it's bad. It's kind of like taking that half court shot when you're trying to make the Sweet 16 for all you basketball fans that are out there right now, and you don't know what's going to happen, right? It's let's take this shot, let's see what can happen, and it can promote, and generate more outlook, more outreach to, other people. So I don't really know yet how I feel about it. It's kind of what, sit back, watch, and see what happens.
I'm excited for it. I'm glad that Tom Bailey, Alex Taylor, the likes, they're going to get exposure to an NHRA crowd, because I really feel like the average NHRA fan is actually not well versed in drag racing. Now, not you all watching. We have many of you, such as Kroger Sucks and Scott Malpass and DRC and many others. You're well versed in drag racing. That's why you're here and you're talking about it. But I really feel like the average NHRA fan, if you showed them a radial car, if you showed them a drag and drive car that wasn't like Tom Bailey's car, so they were like, what am I looking at? What's going on here? And I'm glad that the NHRA, which, mind you, has actually been highly involved in the drag and drive scene here recently, because it seems like every drag and drive has as their tech director Lonnie Graham, national technical director for the NHRA. So they've been involved, they've been looking, they've been observing, and I'm just at least glad that the average NHRA fan is going to have exposure to this class. Now, what the NHRA has got to get done right, I believe, though, is during the event, some way, somehow, they've got to show that these cars are doing like 100 miles before they get to the track and running sixes.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think you can't do it on the day of, but it would be cool, if you get a clip on like Friday and that you show them driving around. But then, especially in Wild Horse, in Arizona, you could do that, because I forget what the name of the street is, but it comes down right in front of the track. If you're on I would call it the late after, if your back is to the pits, you could watch them, drive down that road and drive right into the track. That would be something cool. I mean, they have the drone, they have the different technology. I think, really, Lee, really, you're gonna eat in front of all these people. But if it was in, Brainerd or something like that, where you get the helicopter view of them coming in with the police escort or something, I think that'd be pretty cool, to show that, yes, these guys are. But what I really think should happen, and I think there's a way, if you've been to Arizona, when you first turn into the gates, you make that left and you kind of veer around where they have those vendors. I think that those cars need to be out front with those trailers right there, so they can actually show them off and show that, hey, this is what these guys and girls are doing. Or park them along, that last row in the staging lanes. But a lot of people can't get that access, but park them somewhere so people can physically see them and get up close and next to these cars, so they can understand, like, these guys and girls are driving these. This is what they're working out of. And maybe it may give, dad and son, or grandpa, dad and grandson, an idea of, hey, we've got this, old Camaro sitting in the in the back shed that we haven't done anything with. Why don't we, put some heads on this thing, build a little trailer, go to, Harbor Freight, buy a trailer, and do something like that. And that's the kind of stuff that we need to do to promote it in the right way. But if we just bring these cars out and say, oh, look, these are, and please no one blow up on me, but if we just get Alan Reinhart to get on the mic and say, oh yeah, these are drag and drive cars, and they drive them down the street, they actually go, 60 mile an hour down the road, and now they're out here running sevens. most people are going to be like, okay, yeah, whatever.
You make a good
We
point.
have to
You make a good point.
we you know what I'm saying? Because if you're sitting in the stands and you see these cars driving down here, and then all of a sudden you're like, and Alan Reinhardt gets on the mic and goes, "These are drag and drive cars, and blah 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 and blah, and they drive 70 miles an hour, and they drive 60 miles or 70 miles or 100 miles from one stop to another, and they have to take pictures and they have to do this, blah 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 blah, and now they're running down the cars. Look at this. This is pretty neat." Then they fire up. Most guys halfway through that are going to be like, "Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's get these cars down the track," or they're going to get up, walk away, and go to the nitro pits. And you can't have that.
Or you can also have, and I think it'd be dangerous that, oh, drag and drive is just these 6-second cars, 7-second cars, when drag and drive is not just that. I mean, there's even gasser classes. So there is a complete wide range within the drag and drive world for you to find your place and to compete. And I hope they do a good job of explaining that and showcasing that. Look, that transition where they come off the street and they got to get drag ready, I hope they put them near the nitro pits and people can see that transition happen right next to a fueler warming up. I really hope they go all out and give these people some great exposure before an NHRA crowd.
And speaking about going all out, I think that's a great transition into this next person that we're supposed to bring on by the name of Chad Green. I think JT Murder Tundra said what he really likes on this show, and I won't say that, but it starts with a T, and it's not for me. But I think that person goes all out, knows how to have a good time, and loves whacking the loud pedal. What do you think, Lee?
Well, as I get this nugget down, I think it's time we take a break and we get Chad Green on. We got him in the green room.
We got to know, hey, where are those nuggets from? Oh, good selection. Thought you were going to say
I'm
Wendy's.
staying with my uncle here in Tyler, Texas, and he's the cool uncle because he went and got me nuggets while I'm doing a show. So I'm eating nuggets now. And I've been on the road all day. So just got in here, got things set up, do the show, eat some nuggets, brought to you by Chick-fil-A, and also brought to you by Weldon High Performance. Like, really, they actually do pump up the show. Weldon High Performance right here on the Competition Plus Power Hour. Chad Green next. Chad, man, do you have nuggets? I hope you do. I've got some. They're good.
Not at this time. Wish I did. Like you said, good choice. How y'all guys doing?
I'm doing great.
I'm just mad that he's eating those right in front of me, and there's no Chick-fil-A anywhere near where I live. So a little jealous, but I'm be on the road, so that's fine. I can get some nuggets here soon.
Yeah, no doubt. You're eating those in front of a whole bunch of people, Lee.
So Chad,
Yeah.
Chad, which one's better, Pro Mod or Funny Car?
Well, I love them both. I love my Pro Mod, but I tell you, when I got in the funny car and stepped on that pedal, there's nothing that compares to it. There's just not. It's just the ultimate.
I'll give you a pass.
I love the Pro Mods, but yeah, it's just, there's really no comparison in my mind. It's just such a different, they're two totally different animals. I say all the time, I think the funny car's, harder to drive, but, the Pro Mod's definitely easier to crash for sure. But, yeah, I love them both, but, if I have to choose, I'm going to get in the funny car at this point.
Well, obviously, we're going to talk about the funny car. Let's get a little bit more Pro Mod in here and out of the way. You have classically been a nitrous guy. There was not a nitrous car entered in the field whatsoever at the Gator Nationals. Did that happen to like pull on a heartstring a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. That was a sad sight to see. I mean, nitrous has been a part of that class of category since the beginning, and it's just, very sad to see.
Seems like, Stevie Fast Jackson pulling for the nitrous for a very long time. You were on that nitrous train. Tricky Ricky, who is retired now, I think for the umpteenth time, has been a nitrous guy. Do you think there will be another generation of nitrous, or do you think that ship is kind of sailing?
Well, I hope so. I really do. I hope that they could, I think they've got some rule issues they got to work out within the NHRA for the nitrous class, to make them where they can be compatible, compete again. And I don't think nitrous is dead by far. I mean, there's so many categories of other cars out there, classes that are nitrous cars. I think you will see a comeback at some point. Hopefully, it's sooner than later.
All right. Last Pro Mod question, I think. You were at the World Series of Pro Mod. You were in it. Brought a car out of mothball, if you will, and got that thing down there to be at the show. Your take on the whole entire atmosphere of the World Series of Pro Mod?
Let me just say, I thought it was a great experience. It was an honor to be able to be there and be a part of it. I wish we could have, performed a little better than we did. Obviously, we didn't perform that great, but the competition level there was just out of this world. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen so many badass cars, badass drivers all together at one place in such a tight field. To have that many pro mods with that tight of field, it's just incredible.
So I've been making this statement, and our next guest too that comes on after you, Spencer Hyde, he's a pro mod guy. Now you're driving the funny car. They call it pro mod, which means professional. Do you think with what NHRA is doing this year, putting them on the broadcast a little bit more, do you think this will help solidify that pro mod should be, officially listed in that, group of category and really get the respect that they need?
Oh, 1000%. There is no one happier than me to see them put the pro mods on the live broadcast on NHRA TV. I think, finally, somebody wised up that's the smartest thing they could have ever done. The fans love it. The fans are gonna love it. Yeah, it was pretty amazing, and the pro mods put on a good show.
They certainly do put on a good show. But in the big show, you're in a big show funny car now. And I just, for everybody, I want to know, I got to take a little bit of credit for Chad's good day at the Gators and go rounds. Did something. It did something. Man, you had a good day. Congratulations. Semifinal round appearance. I mean, that LSR machine, Chad Greenwilla, it was good to see it go rounds. And sir, I expect 2023 Wally in your hand this year.
Well, we certainly expect that too, Lee. That's the goal, and couldn't be more happy, more proud of the team. The way they performed. We had pretty much a new team last year, and it was a good gelling time. We had some issues going through the middle of the season last year with the new car, trying to get that worked out. We really felt towards the end of the season, we had the car starting to run pretty good. Made our first run in the 380s at the second Charlotte last year. Ended the season running really good. Made some changes in the off season, for our performance, to help add a little performance, some parts changes and stuff like that. So we were really excited coming in to this race, obviously to get that type of finish, in the semifinals. Could it be better for me, for the team, the morale of the team? It's a bunch of young guys. Luckily, I was able to get the same team back this year, so they're starting to really gel. The car's coming along. We have some new performance this year. You know, we got more performance than we had in Gainesville. You know, we're still, you know, they're still trying to figure out the setup for that car and that performance because it's a little different than last year. But yeah, I think good things to come. I'm excited.
So in your history of racing, you've probably lined up against, you know, Alex Laughlin before in a pro mod or, you know, in one of these races. But now you're lining up against Robert Hyde. You're lining up against Alexis DeJoria, you know, J.R. Todd. You've got and then you've got the GOAT, right? John Force. You've got Muscle Man himself, Matt Hagan. With that list, is there anyone that you're taking that like, hey, you know what? I'm probably going to stage a little deep, or I'm going to, you know, try and play some games at the starting line. Is there any one of those people that you're like, hey, if I'm going to try and get advantage on that person, who is it going to be?
Well, I think it'd probably be all of them because, you know, they're all really tough cookies, as you know. It's really awesome to get to race against these guys. I mean, a lot of them are true legends in the sport. And, you know, just like last weekend at the Gator Nationals, I got to go against Force in the second round, and we actually beat them. And, you know, it's one of those runs where we didn't beat them because they spun the tires, didn't make a run. You know, they actually made a run. We actually outran them. I beat them on the tree. You know, we just, you know, fair and square beat them. And, you know, to be able to race against a guy like that, a legend, and to get a round win like that in a big race, it's just no better feeling. It's awesome to be able to do that. I'm so excited to be able to race against these guys.
Is it not amazing that people get up for beating a 70-plus-year-old man in NHRA drag racing? That's when you are John Force, you get that kind of treatment for sure. And it's almost like, what do? Do you go congratulate him for being beat, or be like, thank you for letting me win, or, you know, what do you do?
No,
I waited for him to come congratulate me.
First off, Lee, there's no age in drag racing. When you get in that car and you strap in, don't care if you're man, woman, whatever. You're a competitor, and I'm going to line up against you. But I'm going to tell you, if I ever get the chance, I'm sorry, John, don't drink any Monster because it might get you fired up after hearing this. But if I ever race against John Force and I'm beating him, I'm getting on top of that car, and I'm going full like Steve Torrance. I'm going and grabbing someone's water cannon off the safety safari. It's going to be a 30-minute ordeal on the top end. Amanda's going to be like, hey, you got to go. Like, your TV time's up. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no doubt. I was kind of disappointed I didn't get an interview after that round win, you know, because that would have been a cool interview. You know, that's something I've been waiting a long time to do, is beat John Force.
Well, you beat them there in round two. I'm sure that y'all are going to meet once again this year, and you'll get another win light over the GOAT. You talked about the off season. You have a very close connection with Tim Wilkerson and that gang, and his off season was shrouded in speculation, and then it all came to light that he's Timmy the Tiger now, and that partnership. So what has that done to your partnership with him and the team as a whole? Daniel on the mic after your runs, energetically excited over the wins, but hey, we got the tune for Tim, thanks, parts, out. You know, so what's all the dynamic from Tim's new deal to your deal?
Well, you know, so far it's been great, Lee. You know, time will tell. I think in the long run, it's going to be excellent for us. As far as the relationship of me and Tim, really nothing has changed. You know, I rent a space out of his shop. Daniel, his son, works there for me with Tim full time out of the same race shop. So, you know, I have a great relationship with the Maynards. I think they're great people. I think it's a great thing that they're doing with Tim. So I think it's all going to be positive for in the long run. So far it's been great, and I really can't see any difference.
Good. That's good to hear. Very good.
And I think it'll be great for Tim too. I'm excited for him to see what this year holds. I think they didn't have the best performance in Gainesville, but just like us, they're on some new parts. They're on some new programs this year. They'll definitely get that thing figured out and be a force to be reckoned with.
They're great. I can't help myself.
Yeah.
Sam. Yeah.
Well, everybody that's sitting at home, Chad, if you haven't done one,
Yeah,
JT says you like tequila, but everybody drink. You too, Spencer. We can see you. Hopefully you got something you're drinking in your hand.
Yep.
All right.
I've got some iced tea.
There you go. Sweet or okay, see, now we got
unsweet all the
He's
way.
from Texas, man. It's unsweet.
Yeah.
No.
I grew up drinking
tea.
unsweet, but as an adult, I grew up drinking sweet tea, but as an adult, I had to switch to unsweet.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
See, I'm trying to get my Larry Dixon right now, so he's got me hooked on the pure leaf lemon.
Yeah.
Really good for you. I learned that at PRI this year. So, but final question for me. I mean, when you look at this whole plan of now driving funny car and stepping out of the seat of the pro mod and just kind of making that transition, the change in, I guess, driving attitude, is there a change for you, for the people that don't really understand of what it's like to go from a pro mod to a funny car? Is there a different driving change? Your driving strategy, getting into the car, getting out of the car, has that changed for Chad Green?
I would say not a whole lot. I mean, physically drive the cars is totally different, but as far as mindset and strategy and how I go about getting ready and prepping and doing my routine, it's different, but it's the same. It's all racing. Doesn't matter really what you're in.
There you go. Well, Chad, you're a successful racer. You've become a successful racer because you've been a successful businessman, and I love to always give an opportunity for people such as yourself to plug what the heck is on the side of the car. Now, at the Gators, different name, and I learned through Hunter that y'all are going to have LRS on the car a couple of times. Even BP should be back. That's all good news. But Bond Coat, what the heck is it? So everybody knows.
Well, okay, just so everybody knows, Bond Coat is my company here in West Texas. We're operating out of the Permian Basin, which is the largest oil field in the United States here. And what we do is we put a protective coating on the pipe that goes downhole that protects against corrosion. So with that, they've got some huge aquifers out here that may be 2,000 to 3,000 feet in depth. When they run the pipe through this, which is basically salt water, if you don't put something on it to protect that pipe, it'll corrode out, within 6 months or even a year. So our product is designed to protect the pipe that goes down in these saltwater zones.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
It's actually speaking my language.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty interesting process. We have a plant, just to say a couple more things about it here real quick. Our main plant is here located in West Texas, but we have 3 plants in the Middle East as well. And it's a really unique process we've developed. It's a totally automated process. So like, to give you an example, here in West Texas, our facility, we coat somewhere between 10 to 12,000 feet per day of 10-inch diameter pipe. So over 2 miles worth.
Are you shipping much up here to the North Dakota area?
Not too much. No, we have shipped a little bit before, but it's really geographic specific, and they don't really have the problems there like they do here.
Yeah, our salt water's probably nothing compared to you guys is, but yeah. Well, if you ever want to come up this area, let me know.
10-4.
Come in the summer. Come in the summer though. It might be a
Yeah.
little too cold right now.
Yeah, no doubt. I've heard about that.
Well, Chad, look, man,
Yeah.
thank you for your time on the show tonight. So glad that you had a great Gator Nationals. We hope that your Arizona Nationals is just as, if not even more successful, and definitely looking for you to hold that Wally up in 2023. Get it done, Chad.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. We're looking forward to seeing you in Arizona.
See ya.
All right.
All right.
Chad improving, and I certainly think later on this year you're going to see him holding up a Wally.
Oh, for sure. I think, him dedicating to the funny car, that's going to be huge for him and his driving, focusing on that. I mean, I don't think he is 100% done with his pro mod. I don't really think you can ever give that up. Once a door car guy, always a door car guy. You got to stay that way. And we're going to see him in other things. Mikey O, no, I'm not in bed. I'm doing some traveling. So, this is guest room.
And
It's comfy. It's my old bed.
Liberty Noon Productions, he's like, I thought it was automotive finish. Thank you. So that's why I like to give people that opportunity to explain their product, and explain their company, because, yeah, it happens to do with the oil industry.
He could probably finish the bottom of some of these cars that drive through Minnesota on drag and drive.
Hey, there
Plug
might
drag and drive again.
might be some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Could be.
All the grime and stuff that's on the road could keep them. I don't know. But hey, man, we're gonna fast forward again here, Lee. We're gonna talk about someone that's got a huge check. I mean, bigger than the TV, bigger than my laptop screen can show you guys right
bigger
now.
than my beard.
I mean, he had more money on the ground than in pictures, than
was it real,
most
or was
people
it
see in
that
rap.
movie prop money again?
It's the same stuff that I've been showing everybody.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he did
funny
get the real
story
stuff.
about that. He got the real stuff too. But funny story about that, Lee. I played a joke on some guys and I put that out on a table and walked away. If you would have saw, I need to do mall versions of prop money, because that is hilarious.
I imagine it is.
But yeah, this guy didn't get any. He probably took a stack of the prop money just to have in the trailer or something, but he probably doesn't need that after the large amount of money that he won at the biggest, the baddest, and the richest pro mod race ever.
That's right. Well, the field probably thought, with him being qualified last, that he was only going to be a Dr. Jekyll, but he certainly turned out to be a Mr. Hyde over the whole entire field and won it. Yes, Spencer Hyde on next, winner of the World Series of Pro Mod. Right after the break.
Classic car owners, make your headlights over twice as bright with Holley Retro Bright LED headlights. A plug-in replacement for those dim halogen seal beams, Retro Bright maintains that classic look and lasts 6 times longer. Stay safe and click the link below to learn more.
Well, Mr. Hyde, again, thank you for your flexibility and being on the show tonight. Congratulations, and can I get a loan?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Sorry. No, we've got that 100,000 pretty much eaten up here. We went and bought some new parts, and we're gonna hit the PDRA hard this season and see if we can get one of those 660 men. I really want one of them on my shelf. So we invested it right back into the Pro Mod.
I was gonna say, I gotta ask. Okay, you're winning that race. How many phone calls did you get? Hey, man, remember that $60 that you owe me? Yeah. So what about that? Or hey, are we going to lunch on you?
Not too many, actually. Surprisingly, no one was looking for money. Just a lot of congratulations and well done texts, which was pretty cool to see and hear. And I didn't look at my phone on much on Sunday. It just was a pretty busy day, and when I went to bed at 2 or 3 in the morning, I had 197 text messages and 300 Facebook notifications and stuff that I'm not used to seeing. So it was pretty neat. Took me most of the day Monday to get back to everybody, and which was fine. I had a long drive home back up to Canada, so I sat in the passenger seat and in the bunk and returned a bunch of texts and phone calls and emails and stuff. So it was good.
Well, Spencer, you've won it. We know that. And before we, talk about the moment of the win, what about the moment of just qualifying? I want to know that story. You were the last one in, and there was names outside looking in that I honestly was shocked did not make it in, like Melanie Salemian, the numbers that they can throw up on the board. You were number 32. What was it like sitting on the hot seat of being in, out? Am I going to have a shot for 100,000? What was that like?
It was tough. I talked about this on Wes's show. Like we struggled all week, kind of during testing and during qualifying, and just didn't really have the race car that we were used to having. We had run some pretty good numbers at Bradenton previously and at the Snowbirds and throughout the season in PDRA. I can't remember the last time we went to a race and couldn't run a kind of a mid 60. So we struggled. I mean, obviously the weather during the day, it was hot and the track was hot, but those night sessions, there was no reason we couldn't have went out there and went 65, 66, and we couldn't find it. So it was a little nerve wracking to not have the car you're used to. And we were chasing some issues that we just couldn't seem to find. And when things got as quick as they did, and we shook the tires in Q3 in the heat, not that we would have probably improved our number in the heat there on Friday, but going into Saturday night, we knew we were going to have to make a good run, and we actually changed engines right before Q4, between Q3 and Q4, and it was a mad thrash. Thankfully, we were 23rd pair, and Justin Bond came over and gave us a hand putting the engine together and put it in the car, and we got up there right before the run, and I knew we were falling pretty quick from 21st down the ladder, or down the qualifying sheet, and I heard Al Tucci say we were on the bump and we were about 5 pairs back, so things got pretty real pretty quick. So I knew we had to pull something together and make a good run to get in. So but to bump in by a thousandth of a second was pretty wild. But honestly, we weren't real happy with the 68 run, but it got us in the field, so we were very happy then. But our night wasn't over. The chassis on the car was broke, so the guys stayed up till 2:30 in the morning welding that back together and fixing it all up, getting it ready for race day. So everything worked out pretty good after that.
Sam, that's why I love this story. Barely in, attrition, and overcoming it all, and gets the big payday at the big race. I mean, dude, movie quality story. Like, someone needs to be writing scripts now, okay? Movie quality. Congrats.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you talk about, well, I mean, he mentioned it, right? All those text messages and emails and notifications. I mean, a celebrity overnight, but then not just that, but started like literally. I mean, we've all heard the song, started from the bottom, now I'm here, right? Or you look back at Mike Jones. I'm aging myself here, and Spencer, I don't know if you know this song, but back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me, right? I mean, you look at it and you're like, man, this guy. I mean, I was watching along, huge pro mod guy, but watching along, and I'm like, dude, is he gonna do this? Mike O says it right there, 3 whole shot wins. I mean, when you're going through this day and you're going through a week like that, or a weekend like that, what is that emotionally, mentally, physically, like, to go from step to step? Like, damn, I'm on the bump. And when Al Tucci says something like that, and just thinking about it, you get goosebumps, as Wes Buck would say, right? Then, okay, I'm not just on the bump. Now, okay, I got to win. Oh, crap, I got another win. all right, now I'm against this person, and you're going along this day. What were the emotions like throughout that?
Honestly, well, first round, I think everybody will agree to this. It's always the toughest. It's the most nerve-wracking. Nobody wants to lose first round. And thankfully, it got pretty lucky there. Tommy redlit, and we didn't make a very good run, but I mean, it went A to B, but it was slow. I was so overwhelmed on the starting line. We were the first pair out, and there was cameras everywhere and opening ceremonies and just a lot going on. I actually forgot to change the main jet in the car, and the thing was just pig fat from the good air the night before, and I didn't lean it up at all for the heat of the day, and got away with one there. And once we got around that round against Tommy Gray, we got back and we found some issues in the torque converter, so we changed them out and went out against Eric Latino and made a pretty decent run, 371 out there in the heat, and wasn't low the round by any means. There was a couple of high 60s out there. Actually, there's quite a few high 60s, but got the job done against Eric there. And after that, I kind of knew that things were starting to fall into place. The car was doing what we were telling it to do, and you know, Mark felt a lot more comfortable. Mark Savage, my tuner, and he just started picking it up every round. And you know, he told me at the beginning of the race, he said, "I'd put you up against any one of these guys all day long on the starting line. So just go do your thing." And you know what? That's what we did, and just kept knocking them off. You know, then we get Marcus Burt, third round. Knew that was going to be a tough one. You know, number 2 qualifier. He's got a great pro line car, Jose Gonzalez's car. He's killer on the starting line. You know, I kind of thought that was going to be the end of my day when I drew him, but you know, you can't think that way. You just gotta go and run your own race, and went up there and caught a pretty good light against him, and luckily he was a little late, and I think he was 66 to our 67, and then we had Jason Harris after that, number 3 qualifier, another guy that's killer on the tree. I think he was 008 round 1, 012 round 2. Like, you know, he was all over the tree as well. So, and the car was printing, you know, 364 time slips all weekend. So, again, went up there and caught an 011, and he was a little late on his light. He had his radio quit when he was backing up, and I think he got a little flustered. I seen his crew guy run out there and get in front of the car and start, you know, giving him hand signals. So I knew that something was going on. So I just, you know, kind of hoped he was going to not be as good on the tree as he normally is, and he wasn't. But we made a good run too. We went 365 to his 64, so we were right there performance wise. And then Kurt Stedding in the final. I mean, anytime you go up against Kurt Stedding and one of Todd Tuttero's cars, you know that you're going to have to do something special to beat them, because Todd's one of the best, if not the best, to ever do this. So I told Mark right before the run, I said, "Hey man, we're going to have to probably go quicker than we've ever gone before, and you know, let's go do this." And he told me to go bottom 64, and we went out there, and that's what it did. So that was an awesome drag race. Just, you know, 33 to 37 on the tree, and you know, he left on me by 5, and we beat him by 9 thou for a you know, 5 thou margin victory. Was just incredible. I've watched that in-car camera video I don't know how many times, and just seems like we're back and forth nonstop. Every gear change you can see me pull ahead, then he comes back, and it was pretty awesome.
Well, JT Hudson chiming in. Spencer Hyde, the styling, profiling, limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, willing and dealing, son of a gun. You certainly got it done.
Can I get a 2 claps and a Ric Flair?
Yes, he gets it done at the World Series of Pro Mod. Again, congratulations.
JT's my people. I owe him a lot. He's the one that was pretty instrumental in getting me into this race. So that headache on Saturday morning of PRI was well worth it, I guess, because I had a lot of cocktails with him in the lobby bar Friday night, talking my way into this deal.
I hear a lot of people have a lot of cocktails around JT if he's involved.
He's a bit of a bad influence, but he's my kind of people. So
I mean, it's really a good influence because you're under the influence. But yeah, Lee got to experience that. Not this PRI, but the PRI before that.
Yeah. JT he was involved of like drink swapping and that's strange night.
But it is a tradition, Lee. I have to say, and Spencer, if you haven't heard this, that if you drink with JT before a race, you will win it.
well, I did have quite a few drinks with him on Thursday night, so maybe that's what it was.
Ask Lyle Barnett winning the U.S. Nationals. I'm just saying. JT is a bit of a good luck charm.
Oh, we'll keep him around then.
Yeah, keep him around. But you also have to have a good combination to get this win. Your car, and you got Jack and the green stock on the side. What is your combination? What's up with Jack and the green stock? What's going on with this whole theme of this professional modified machine?
So it's a screw blown 4.9 Noonan deal. We've ran their stuff for a few years now and had good luck with it. Run a tie drive with a Lenko and a strange rear end. Jack and the green stock. So this is pretty special paint scheme to me. Jack Hyde is a cousin of mine. He's 81 years old now, and he's the guy that got me into drag racing. I grew up a mile down the road from him, and he raced back in the 60s, long before I was around, with a 66 Biscayne that was called Jack and the Green Stock, and he won a lot of stock eliminator races with it. Won a couple track championships up here in Canada with it, and was just a really cool, iconic car in this local area. And anyways, he got out of drag racing for a bunch of years and rebuilt the car in the early 2000s. And I was a young kid, 12, 13 years old. And so I started hanging out with him and going to the racetrack and watching him run. And that was the car I kind of grew up around. And for his 80th birthday last year, we decided to wrap the car to match the real green stock. And anyways, it went over really well with the fans and family and whatnot. So we decided to keep it on. We don't really have a major sponsor on the side of it. I got a bunch of small guys on the wing back there that helped me out and have helped me out for years. That most of them know Jack and thought the paint scheme was pretty cool. So we kept it on there, and I think we're probably going to have to keep it on for a while now. It's I think a lot of people like it, and if people know the story, it's kind of cool. And Jack actually gave me the Biscayne, the 66 Biscayne that he ran just this past year, and he's kind of stepping back from the racing now in his later years, and he wanted me to have the car, and which is pretty special to me. So they sit side by side down here in the shop, and we'll get the Biscayne out this year too, and make some runs in it. I'm sure he'll make some runs in it too. So.
Now that's a cool story.
So, I gotta ask, the PDRA flags flying at the starting line, Team PDRA, Tyler Crossnow, the Franklin family, how was it, just to be a part of that and to know that you're going to go and do some racing out there this year? Do you think the big target is on your back, or do you think, that race is over and now it starts a whole new chapter?
Running with the PDRA is fairly new to us, but we have dabbled in it the last few years. We ran 3 or 4 races with them last year, and honestly just had a blast every time we were there. Tommy and Judy are just great people. They're so passionate about it, and they're good owners and operators and good racers too. And Tyler Crossnow does a great job. I became closer with him over the last year or so, and I really get along with him, and he treats us really well, which goes a long way with us racers, especially people guys like us that don't do this for a living. This is our hobby. When you're going to go out and have fun, you want to be treated right, and the PDRA seems to have a knack for that. So it was really cool to see them waving the flags back there. Actually, that was awesome. Just watching the videos afterwards and to see especially Tommy and Judy themselves out there waving that's pretty cool. So I don't know if we'll have a target on our back. I mean, there's still Todd Tutterow and Melanie Salemi and Kurt Stedding out there that are pretty dominant and but I got to think that people might take us not quite as lightly. If they did before, they definitely won't now. And but we got to go out there and show these guys that we can do it again. It wasn't just a one-off, and I think we can. I'm pretty confident that we're gonna run pretty good up there this year, and I guess we'll find out next weekend in Galot. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, you certainly have every right to carry the bragging rights into that PDRA season. My last question for you, Spencer, I'm going to take a comment from Mike. He's like, what's you there, Spencer, think about the Thorne and Manny staging duel? So the big staging duel down at the Gator Nationals. As a pro mod racer, as a drag racer, what do you think about the staging duels, the burn downs, the waiting them out type of situation?
I thought it was great for the fans. I mean, especially being the first race that was on the live broadcast. I think that got the talk going for Pro Modified and to be the last year's champ and this year's rookie, and both of them have won lots in their own categories. I mean, Manny's won a ton of small tire stuff and grudge stuff, and he's an excellent racer. And I mean, Chris Thorne, he was pretty dominant last year. He's always good on the tree, and I thought it was cool. I mean, I don't know if I'd sit there and do that with my own stuff, but probably because my screw car would run out of fuel long before 3 minutes. But it was cool. I mean, the fans loved it. Even Joe Costello was on the PA there, just talking it up, and it was good. There's been a lot of talk about it afterwards. So I mean that's all good for the sport. If you can get people talking about it, that's what you want.
That's always good. I think burn down. Lee, you know how I feel about burn downs. I mean, why not?
Well, I know
It's your
this right
stuff.
now. In Pro Mod, don't burn down Chris Thorne. He has won every one of them that he has been in. He's done it over Stevie. He's done it over Ricky. Now he's done it over Manny. And look, I love what they're doing about the whole money pool thing, like who makes him go in first. But no, like he wins every one of them. Don't mess with the man. He's a thorn in their side.
That's true. So, I mean, I know a lot of people are going to ask, if there's a World Series of Pro Mod next year, I mean, are you going to get the presidential treatment? Are you going to be the first one to be announced that you're coming back to revenge your title, or are you going to kind of take a step back and give everyone a year to catch up?
I'm sure there's going to be another one. Wes has already told me I don't have to worry about waiting to see my name on the invite list next year. So pretty excited for that. Obviously, we're gonna go back and try and defend that title. But I don't need any special status. I mean, I'm a pretty low key guy. I just want to be there and be a part of it. And but definitely, I think I'll have the target on my back at that race next year for sure.
Well, Spencer, once again, congratulations. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your flexibility. Glad we got this worked out. The chat with you, the World Series of Pro Mod winner, $100,000 richer, though it's already been spent well.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Have a good night.
You.
Take care.
Sorry, cut him off there a little. I'm a little clicker happy sometimes. It happens. It happens.
Being on the road that much, you probably got a little, gotta go.
I got a little twitch, from yeah.
Well, Lee, I mean, like I said, we talked to Pro Mod to Funny Car and whichever
Yeah.
angle. It's just one of those. It's just one of those days, man, where it's a good day. It's a good day for me. But Lee, so much to look forward to. Like you said, the early Western swing of drag racing is upon us. People can get their in and out. They can get their Mexican food. They can get some sunshine because a lot of us have been, in the blistering cold.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of snow in California too.
In Phoenix, you can still get Waffle House. You can still get Rudy's Barbecue. You can still get Whataburger. It's got everything. That's what's so good about Phoenix.
Yeah, you can still, Phoenix is very, like, when you honestly thinking about it, the more that you say that, it's very, very diverse. So,
Very.
What more could you want?
Yes. Well,
Funny
I know
Car
this.
Chaos.
What more I want? I want more drag racing, and I'm looking forward to getting it at the Funny Car Chaos Classic.
Chaos Classic.
And then there are those that they're going to be able to get it at the Arizona Nationals. And then there are those at tracks all over the globe that they're going to get it soon as well. Like, Santa Pod. Santa Pod's not too far from firing up. They are going to fire up on Easter, this year and burn some nitro. So, look, everything is nearly in full swing.
Yep, batter up. I don't know, man. This is that part of the year where if you're not cranked in and dialed in, you're starting to wrap up that project and get it out. You're probably, doing the final wiring, final tune-ups, getting it started up in the shop, in the garage, making sure, all the lines and T's are crossed and I's are dotted. So the early Western swing is upon us. So if you haven't done it already, get your tickets, get out there, get some racing in, get some nitro, get some chaos, classic chaos. I think I just need a shirt that just says that, just like chaos all the way around it. Like,
yeah.
think,
in a funny car slasher motif, that would be interesting.
I think I need to call Chris and say, hey man, there needs to be a 1-of-1 replica for Roland. I'm just gonna call myself Roland Rashad now. I don't know if I can.
Roland Rashad.
Dude, that is true. Like, that's 2 cars.
2.
Wow. And like, both of them I've had on safety equipment and seatbelts, and I walked away with nothing but lower pride.
Yep.
I got to do better, Lee. You know what it is, Lee? It's been too many years without throttle therapy for me. I need to get my car done, get behind the wheel, and whack that loud pedal a couple of times, and that'll straighten me out.
You need it. We all need it. Hey, man, I'm going to close the show out this way. It's been great to have each and every one of you watching. Hit the like button for us. Hit the share button as well. Come back here on Tuesday nights for the Competition Plus Power Hour, Drag Racing's late night talk show, and CompetitionPlus.com's talk show for drag racing. The peak high performer in the door slammer world right now is certainly Spencer Hyde. Congrats once again.
Lee, before we go, I got to give out a shout out to the college that I went to for 2 years. Shout out to Minot State Beavers for winning the ACHA national championship. They won over Adrian today, 1-0. So roll Beavers.
Roll peak footage. Adios, guys.
If you want to take your vehicle's performance to new heights, you got to give it P. Like our original equipment technology, antifreeze, and coolant. Our formulas match the vehicle manufacturer's technology requirements so that we have the perfect match for every vehicle. That's one reason why Peak is among the fastest growing brands of coolant in America. We work harder to earn the trust of people like you every day.